Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Behind me here we got our 3rd gen mock-up car, and we've got 3 new products for the 3rd gen that I want to show you in this video. So let's start at the back. So our trunk delete, we've got these for the 4th gen Fbody. A little bit different for the 3rd gen as far as the way the back of it is. With the 4th gen you've got a bunch of little cutouts and different things that we kind of shape it up to, but with the 3rd gen it's pretty flat back there, so it's just a clean break. We've still got our holes all the way around the perimeter, so you can just pop some rivets in there or something and make installation really simple. But you know, there's not much to it. I'll see if I can get it out with one hand. Basically just cut that section out and then just lay it in. Pops right down in there. So that's about the easiest thing you can do when cutting that out, or as far as doing any fab work, is installing one of those. So next we got our subframe connectors, and this car is on the ground. Obviously it's not got any wheels on it, not on the lift, but I've got them laid out how they go on the car. Same basic design as our 4th gen subframe connectors. These cup over the front section that's really beefy there where everybody jacks the car up from, and these parts at the rear, which come welded just like this, they will cup over the rear frame rail where it starts. I'll see if I can show you under there. You can kind of see one of them is still on there, but right under here you can weld them to the floor just like the 4th gen for extra rigidity, I guess. Plus it's required with 25.5 to have it welded to the floor. So with these in mind, these are just the spec on these being chromoly 1.5" 0.65. That's what's required for 25.5. So the idea is to tie these into our 25.5 90% setup that I'm about to show you now, and that way you don't have to add but just the front bars and the seat bars to complete it. So moving on to our 25.5, we've got it mocked up in here. Just doing the video this morning because we actually have a local customer that has bought this already, and he's going to come take it out of the car because he wanted to see how everything kind of come apart. So we're going to let him do that. Unlike the 4th gen, this 25.5 is based around the exact dimensions of the bars on the 850 cage that we already offer for this. So you can upgrade your 850 cage to a 25.5 later on by just maybe changing the straight door bars or adding the driver enclosure. But as far as the A-pillars, the windshield bar, all that is the exact same as the 850. So we made those kind of interchangeable because with these not cutting anything out of the top. I mean, this is a hard top car, but they're pretty much as high as they can go, or it's as high as it can go. So there's no point in having 2 different variants for main hoops and all that. So that'll be a benefit to guys want to upgrade down the road. But as far as the 25.5, all the specs are the same as the 4th gen as far as the bars, and we actually have a picture on our website. If you go look, all the colors are the same colors that are in the SFI book, so you can look at the bars and know that, like, red is 1.5" 0.83, blue is 1.25" 0.65, yellow is 1.5" 0.65. Just all the normal colors you'd see in your SFI book match up to what we've got in our diagram. Everything on all of our cages comes pre-notched. There's nothing you're gonna have to really notch yourself. Besides the bars you'll have to add to this setup to complete it as far as the certification. Driver enclosure is really big, should fit pretty much anybody that will be able to fit and drive one of these cars. This cage just basically falls together. It's one of the easiest ones to kind of mock up. Me and Joey literally mocked this whole thing up in probably less than an hour, hour and a half, getting there, and that's checking every measurement and everything. We just threw some little tacks on it just to hold it together for like a demo. But I would suggest when you're assembling one of these things to kind of weld it from the inside out, like assemble the main bars, go ahead and check your measurements, make sure they're good, weld them up, and then you work your way out. Because I see a lot of people excuse me, assembling the cage complete like this, mocking the entire thing up, and then trying to climb in here and weld everything. It is much easier if you weld it in stages. That way you're not trying to lay in there amongst all those bars all at the same time and get in there to weld. So just think about that when you're putting your cage together. Maybe do your main hoop, A-pillars, dash bar, windshield bar, the stuff that kind of sets the stage for the outside perimeter. Go ahead and get those welded in and then start working your small bars in there. The plates, they come with a cage, just like all of our other cages. The floor plates on the third gen are just a little bit different. Now these plates look kind of beat up because it's our mock-up car, but the plate over there is pretty well flat. This plate over here kind of breaks over where the floor kind of dips down, so the plate that you get will come perforated just like the plates back here where it's easily bent and stuff. We're sending these connection bars to land on top of the subframe connectors, but I will say that that's become kind of a gray area as far as the cage inspections. They've always passed with the guys around here, but recently we had one of our customers go to a race, and I don't know if they didn't look in here and didn't see the one-piece rear cross member, but he talked like the customer needed to add gusseting or something because it was a three-piece rear cross member, and it wasn't. I mean, this is a one-piece number one bar. I mean, this is what this is. There's nothing under the car because you can't clear the torque arm on these cars with factory suspension style with this bar being under the car without it being like really low to the ground, like no ground clearance at all. So that's why this number one bar is in the car with all of our cage designs. But these subframe connectors act as the 2A bars. Well, those bars have to be connected to this, so that's what these are for. These go right down to them, but sometimes the inspectors, I guess, don't like that because it's not a straight shot to them. It's rather connected to them by these stubs. So make sure before you put your subframes in, and this kit, this 90% kit comes with the subframes. So the price you see online, it's like $3,400 and some change. Now that includes shipping. It comes with the subframe connectors. So in saying that, the only thing that we're really planning for you having to add to this to make it a complete 25.5 is the number 9 bar, which would be the 1.25 inch bar that goes under the driver's seat. Now if you've got OEM floor and it's not chopped up, you do not have to have the diagonals or any of those other floor bars that's in the SFI book. You do have to have the number 9 bar going under the seat to attach the seat to. or to be under the driver really, and you have to have the 6A, 6B, and 6C bars, which those three make up the front cross member going between the A pillars. So I don't have the book out here in front of me, but I've talked about it enough here recently to know if you have a setback on that. So if you have bars going across here and then your cross member is back here, you have to have gusseting from those. If you go completely straight across and it is a straight shot, of course you'll have a removable one for your transmission, but if you go straight across, you do not have to have gusseting. But if you have any offset from what where the A pillars land, you have to have gussets, and make sure you always refer to your SFI book for that. But when buying this cage, we're saying that you only really have to add those number 6 bars that go all the way across and the number 9, and you'll have a complete 25.5. But everything else up here, all this stuff has been through many inspections on many different cars. Everything is good. Just make sure you do this front cross member correctly so that don't give you issue, and you check with your inspector about these connection bars going to your 2A bars, which is your subframes here, and make sure they're okay with that before you get everything welded in. So cage inspections, they should be straight across the board, but they're not, unfortunately. It's kind of like home inspections. You've got inspectors that have a little bit of common sense, that read the book and understand every gray area there is that you're building around a different setup or a different idea, but you're still doing it correctly. And then there's those guys that, you know, it's their way or the highway, and if you don't do it their way, they're going to fail it. So that's just the way it is. But we're happy to introduce this stuff. We're going to keep at least 1 or 2 of these in stock ready to ship, or we're trying to. We've got some being made right now, been up and notched. The trunk deletes are in stock, and we've got them ready to go. The subframe connectors, we've got some of them being whipped up right now. We'll have them in stock here in about a week. So make sure you check out the website, rock-solid-motorsports.com. Look in the chassis components section, and I've got everything kind of organized where when you look at one subframe connector, you're going to see the other one right beside of it, and the cages, and vice versa. That way you're not digging through the whole website to find this stuff. So thanks for watching. We'll bring you some more products soon. See ya.